Once a boy named John Henry who was known to be born with a hammer on his hand. He was an obedient, proud black slave. He had always wanted to still drive, and for the little he had practiced it, he was one of the best. But people didn't think that way.
How talented I am, and the massive love I feel for working with my hammer. Everyone always tries to bring me down, but I know how victorious I can become if I never give up.
You're black and weak.
He never listened to those losers who never stopped trying to bring him down. His dream was so colossal that he knew one day he would accomplish.
This is the day I will get out from this nightmare. Being a slave is the worst possible thing anyone could do, and it's not optional. I will go and talk to a man to show him my abilities so I can get a job doing something I adore. I really need to do this right now, and I won't let you down. I am brave, talented, and strong, and I will never give up.
Well, if you say so, show me.
Ah!
Can't believe it! That was the best job I've seen for months. None of my men can accomplish what you just did. You mastered this challenge. You will start tomorrow morning. Sleep a lot because it's not an easy job. See you later.
Thank you. I won't bring you down.
Henry had been working for months now, and they knew him all around town. He was challenged to compete against a machine for how good he is and how famous he became. He accepted the challenge. As soon as the event started, all town was around looking at the competition. The machine was beating him at first. He was sweating like a cloud pouring down rain. Everyone was very nervous. John Henry did it. He beat that machine in no time. Everyone was so proud of him. Days after, he died. He was already old and very tired. He vanished, taking his hammer with him and accomplishing all his dreams. Instead of dying as a slave, John Henry beat that machine, but he died the way he lived, with a hammer on his hand.
Our hero, Hammerman, will be an excellent hero in this modern era. John Henry had a lot of qualities that heroes now have. He never stopped following his dreams. Everyone told him he was never going to have a real job, and he was going to be a slave forever. An example of someone who never stopped following his dreams in this modern era is any student who just graduated from a very good university. This shows that they never gave up, and that they were fighting all their life to get what they want. Just like John Henry, he was very strong. The muscles he had of carrying those heavy hammers were unbelievable. There are a lot of images of how people describe John Henry and his muscles. Any professional athlete today has this quality too. Athletes who compete at the Olympic Games can be as strong as John Henry back then. He was a very loving man too. One of the many qualities he had is that he has a lot of courage. Comparing against the machine was very hard and dangerous because machines are taller than humans. He still took the risk and believed in himself that he will win. Many people today share all these amazing qualities that John Henry had back then. He will still be known as a hero now if he had accomplished what he did back then.
I'm going to compare this story with another story named The Origin of Fire. The Origin of Fire is a story from the Nez Perce tribe in which they narrate how a courageous and brave boy discovered fire while people were laughing at him and even trying to kill him because they thought it was against their great power. Also, the fire was impossible to create back then. The Origin of Fire has various things in common with Hammerman. For example, in The Origin of Fire, the boy that discovers fire was always insulted, but he didn't care. He just wanted to follow his dreams and never give up. He had a lot of courage. In Hammerman, John Henry, which was the main character, was black, and in those times people in the US were doubting about black persons' abilities. John Henry was very courageous and brave because he just followed his dreams, which were being the best at steel driving, and he never cared about what people said about him. They also, both of them, never stopped fighting for what they wanted. In The Origin of Fire, the kid always tried to get fire, and finally he achieved it by throwing an arrow to the clouds in his culture. Hammerman always wanted to be the best at steel driving, and with consistency, he achieved it by beating a machine that was made for steel driving. The machine was supposed to be better than humans. In conclusion, both of the stories are very common because if you read them, you're going to understand them both. And they try to transmit the same message, which, in a nutshell, can be never give up.